Okay guys, so that's the trailers for the last two carts to be announced for 2025 from Evercade. Probably didn't see any of those coming, to be honest. Maybe slightly disappointed, but at the same time, if you sort of take a step back and realise that some of these games are really, really good and obviously very apt for their day. This is the Activision Collection 1 and Llamasoft Collection. Look at the amount of games on that cartridge. 27 games, well, obviously the most games on a cart ever by some way. Obviously they are older style games, and Activision Collection 1 is 15 games. And obviously at the same time we're going to get Rare Collection 1, so it looks like we're going to get 3 carts released in November for Christmas time, which is pretty insane. They're all generally all old games. Obviously we are playing mostly old games on Evercade, I guess that is what it is. But let's have a quick look at the collection, the Activision Collection. And I have to say, and I don't normally say this, but I'm not a big fan of the cover for the cart there. It looks just a little bit bland. I don't know, it's just me. I just don't think it looks particularly amazing. And apologies to the designer, I know who obviously makes these, but it doesn't really stand out for me. So we'll get 15 games. And looking at them, it's quite obvious we'll most likely get a couple more collections, maybe at least another collection, because there are a few games not included, such as Hero and Keystone Capers, and obviously there'll be Pitfall 2. So we'll get Beam Rider, Crackpots, Demon Attack, Enduro, Fishing Derby, Freeway, Grand Prix, Mega Mania, Pitfall, Private Eye, River Raid, Sky Jinx, Space Shuttle, A Journey into Space, Star Master, and Tennis. Now obviously these are all Atari 2600 games, and I've played a few of these, and Activision were certainly renowned as being one of the best developers or publishers, developers, whatever, for games on the Atari 2600. They really come up with perhaps arguably some of the best games that were released on that system. I am a huge fan of River Raid, probably one of my most favourite 2600 games ever, and I still play that game to this day, and I played that quite recently, and it is such a great game. We have a game on one of the Amiga collections, or on Home Computer Heroes 2, which is kind of similar, which was obviously based on that game, but the River Raid is definitely the one to play. And a lot of people are going to remember Pitfall. There's no doubt that that is a very renowned game. So it's fascinating that we're getting this on Evercade, and I think it's great news, because realistically we should have had this a good few years ago. I think Blaze did have a deal on the table, and Activision removed it at the last minute. But I guess Blaze are maybe going places now, and there's certainly a lot more people are coming in the door and coming to Evercade, which is fantastic. So I guess Activision are now quite happy to release their games on Evercade, and I'm pretty sure most likely we'll see a second collection at some point. So obviously there was another cart announced. I have to say I've never seen this one coming. I know there was a collection released on Steam fairly recently, and didn't get it. I know it has been well received, so I'm pretty sure if you are aware of these games, you know that there's some decent stuff in here. Yes, maybe a little bit weird and quirky, which is what Jeff Minter, who obviously created all this stuff in the first place, some of this stuff is just bizarre, to say the least. And I'm pretty sure we do have a Jeff Minter game on one of the C64 collections. I can't remember the name, and it is very weird. It's one of those scrolling sort of shoot 'em up style games. Then we've got 27 games. That is a ridiculous amount of games. I'm really surprised they didn't split that, but I guess we're getting good value for money from that. I'm not sure how many games were on the Llamasoft collection that was released on Steam. I didn't pay that much attention. But yeah, this is still pretty good value for money. Now, I'm pretty sure most of the games are C64, and it looks like there's going to be various different versions of these games, which is the first. So I think, if I read right, there's 21 unique games, and there are 27 games in total, meaning there's going to be different versions of the same game. So I'm not sure if it's Spectrum version, perhaps in C64 version. Hopefully we'll try and find out in a little minute. So we've got Abductor, Andy's Attack. It looks a little bit like a Defender clone. Deflex, or Deflex 5 or V, whichever it is. Grid Runner version A. I'm not sure which version that be. Obviously, Blaze or Evercade don't generally say Spectrum or Commodore. It's an 8-bit version of some sort, so we'll need to figure that out. We've got Hellgate version A, Laser Zone version A, We've got Matrix Grid Runner 2 version A. Now, they could be Atari games, I'm not sure. They kind of look sort of like Atari games. Metagalactic Llamas Battle at the Edge of Time version A. What the heck? Now, there's obviously a lot of theming. There's a lot of llamas in these games for some unknown reason, and there's camels as well. I don't know. That's just bizarre at times. There's no doubt about it. Some stuff is just bizarre. We've got Ratman. We've got Ancipital. We've got Attack of the Mutant Camels. That's the one I'm definitely aware of, which was a well-known C64 game back in the day. And he's certainly got a good name. Jeff Minter, he was one of those ones that was certainly looked up to in the C64 world back in the sort of 80s. We've got Hellgate version B, Hover Bover, which I definitely played, really enjoyed that game. That recently actually appeared on the Atari 400 Mini, which is a good fun game. Basically, you're cutting grass. Laser Zone version B. Got Matrix Grid Runner 2 version B. I wish they would just call it Spectrum or C64 or whatever versions they are. Metagalactic Llamas Battle at the Edge of Time version B. Revenge of the Mutant Camels version A. Now, I'll have to figure out which versions these are, because I'm not entirely sure looking at the graphics which they are. Revenge of the Mutant Camels 2. Interesting. Sheep in Space. Definitely remember that one. Void Runner, City Bomb, Super Deflex, Super Deflex, whatever you want to call it, Llamatron, looks like Robotron, sort of rip-off style thing. Revenge of the Mutant Camels version B. Now that looks slightly different. That looks more like a slightly upgraded version. It looks more like a 16-bit version of that game. And we've got Super Grid Runner. Now let's have a look at the press release. Perhaps we'll find some more information in the press release that will perhaps tell us what versions these actually are. So this is the sort of news piece that was created. We've got Activision Collection 1 and Llamasoft Collection. Obviously that will be one. You're not going to get any more from that, I would doubt very much. But that's coming in November. 35 games in total. That is insane. Is that right? That's actually wrong. 15 and 27 is 42, but obviously they're maybe counting unique games there. That's pretty incredible stuff. Oh, so here we go. Yeah. Oh, wow. So looking at the Llamasoft Collection has 27 games spanning the VIC-20, C64, Spectrum, and for the first time Atari ST. So we have two first times on Evercade, the VIC-20 and the Atari ST. That is absolutely amazing. So that is really, really cool. It's nice that they've actually included different versions. This is probably something I was actually wanting way back, probably on the Dizzy collection that we got. I would have liked to have switched between the different versions, Spectrum, C64 and that, but I guess we didn't have home computers on Evercade way back in 2020, but I guess we have now. It's good that they're actually doing that. I think that's really, really cool. So there you've got all the games there. And as they say here, where possible, this collection includes multiple versions, and here we got which games are which. So the VIC-20 games are as follows, which is pretty cool. And then you've got the C64 games, which I guess makes up the vast majority of the games. And now we've got the Spectrum couple of games added on the bottom there. And amazingly, we've got Atari ST. I said Amiga, it looked like an Amiga, but obviously it's Atari ST, which is absolutely amazing. So that's that, guys. We've got 2 carts coming to Evercade. We'll get 3 overall, obviously coming for November. But did you see this coming? Does this make you happy? I'm sort of on the fence. I'm really looking forward to playing these games, but maybe after the year that we've had in 2025, there's a slight disappointment there. Activision, obviously, we should have had on Evercade a long time ago, but it's nice to see these collections, and I think it will certainly bring some different audiences again onto the Evercade platform. So guys, let me know what you think of these carts, and again, thanks for watching, and we will play these games in a future video at some point on the next few days. So again, thanks for watching. Bye for now.